In this video, we're going to look at work sharing using BIM Collaborate and Autodesk Revit and interdisciplinary models. Learning content, working collaboratively with Autodesk Revit, setting up BIM Collaborate, working with packages, using the timeliner and linking Revit models. Autodesk Revit and Autodesk Construction Cloud enable users to work collaboratively using BIM Collaborate Pro. This allows users to work on work shared models. Firstly, we need to set up our project to ensure that BIM Collaborate service is activated and ready for use. Back in our project here, I'm just going to switch back to our project administration area. Now, although the service has been activated, I'm just going to select myself here. And you'll notice under my products and permissions, I have design collaboration and model coordination. Both of these services need to be activated. The design collaboration will allow us to work with Revit files collaboratively, and the model coordination will allow us to do some clash detection in the cloud. I'm now going to switch over to my design collaboration space. You'll notice at the top of the screen, it's saying to me that my project has yet been set up, so I need to complete this process. Firstly, I'm going to click on here where it says Complete Project Setup. Now what this is doing is going to the Settings tab here and defining the area in which I need to set as my shared area. If I set as default, it will create a folder called Shared. Or I can set a specific folder by selecting, and in here you'll notice I can go in and select a specific folder. Or I can select Go to Docs, which is what I'm going to do right now, and create a folder. I'm going to name it appropriately for this action. So I'm going to the three dots here, add subfolder. I'm going to call it 04 and let's call this Design Collaboration. This will become our shared folder. I'm going to switch back to my Design Collaboration area, and in here now I'm going to select a different folder. This should now give me the ability to select the new folder I've just created. As you can see, it's telling me once I've done this, this is the specified folder and it can't be changed. As you can see, automatically this has picked up two folders in the system. This has selected these folders because they've already been created and they have Revit files selected. I can simply click on the box here next to them and select. If I wish to add any further teams later down the line, I can do as and when. As you'll see, both teams have been created. We have the ability to change the team's colours. These can be suiting the specific discipline or organisation they're working for. We can also change the actual team name, and you can see here it's specifying that all the folders have been included. We can change this to selected folders. Again, once moving along, you can see here the coordination space hasn't been created, but we can do. And on the right hand side where it says members, you can see there's 3 members. This gives us the ability to add further members in and set permission level. As you'll see here, I'm currently at full permissions because I'm the administrator. We have the architect's company and we can specify what level of rights they have, whether it's view, create, edit or manage. You'll see at the top right hand side we have scan for new teams. If further teams are added in due course, we can always use this icon here to scan for any further new teams added. To the manage project, where we can specify which is the main project model. We can also set up our coordination space for the same shared folder. Furthermore, you'll see here we have the ability to support DWG file. Now this is set up, let's go to the Home tab. We now have the ability to see a model and it says Architect at the top. If I just drop down these 3 little dots, this is what we call project timeline. It has a date range, start to finish of the project or to current date, and what you'll see is as we go along you'll see some shapes will appear. That shape will dictate whether it's a published file, a shared file or a consumed file. This allows, for example, the architect to share their files with other disciplines. For example, a structural engineer can then consume any shared files that are published by the architect. This allows us to share files quite easily and straightforward through the BIM Collaborate application. Now let's go through the process of actually publishing files, sharing files and consuming files. Live linking project models allows disciplines to link in the master model. For example, the structural engineer can link in the architecture's master model directly into the structural model. This means when the design changes are published back to the cloud, these changes are updated in the linked file once synced to central. This allows the project teams to work closely together and access design changes as they happen. It does require each design team to have view and download permissions of the specific work in progress folders. This isn't recommended best practice. If we now switch into Revit, go to the Insert tab, the Link panel, and then select Link Revit. This should now allow us to link the file from the cloud. It should automatically select the project. Then we just need to cycle through the folders to find the file we wish to link. And in this case, the architecture model. Now if we go to the Manage Links, you'll notice we now have the file linked, and the path will tell you it is linked from the work in progress area where the architecture model is saved. By linking our models from the shared area, we can have greater control on the way we share our designs. This allows design teams to review any changes before they share their models. This means, for example, the architect can publish their designs to the shared area. The structural engineer then can link their files directly back into their own models. At the same time, the structural engineer can share their design and the architect can link it directly into their model. And each time a new shared file is published into the shared area, the file that's linked in will automatically update, giving greater control on how models are shared between design teams. Let's take a look at how this works. I'm currently in the architecture model, and if I go to the Insert tab and link Revit here, again it's opened up directly in the project. And this time, instead of going to the work in progress area, I'm going to go to the design collaboration area I set up earlier. If I go into here, you'll see we have two folders. Now because I have the correct permission levels, I can select either folder. I want to link in the structural model. So if I go into this area, you will notice there is no structural model at this time. So firstly, I'm going to show you how we can publish the model directly from Revit. I want to do the first one here, which is my architecture model. If I go to the Collaborate tab, Publish Settings, we can define which views we are going to share, which we discussed in an earlier video. You'll notice here we can go to Manage Cloud Models. If I select this allows us to publish our files directly here from Revit. We need to go to the project from which we're working on. As you can see, there are a number of projects here. I'm going to select this project, and this will give me the ability to publish any files that I have access to. So you'll see here's my architecture model. I'm going to come across and select Publish Latest. Give me a window on screen just to inform me that I'm going to publish the latest model. We can close this window down. If I just quickly switch to Autodesk Stocks, you will see here under my work in progress area, it's now publishing the latest version of my Revit model here. Now if we switch to the Structures folder, again you will see the file is currently uploading. Whilst that's going through the process, I'm going to simply select the Design Collaboration module. Once in here, I'm just going to select down the dots. You will notice we do have the architecture information, and here is the latest published model. Now, I want to make sure that I can share this with the rest of the design team so they can have access to this. We need to come over to the little plus on the top right hand side and select to create a new package. What this is going to do, give us the ability to select a specific file within Design Collaborate to share with others. For example, you can see here I have a set which is selecting the model. There could be multiple models from the architect. We could always select the model or the documents that are attached to it if we require. I'm just simply, in this case, going to go for the sets. I'm going to select Save. You'll notice now it's starting to create the package. We can always change the name of the title here. We could put in a specific title associated to what this is. So this is the initial model share. Now we're happy with the file we're sharing. We can simply hit share. You notice we can put a new title in and we can put a description in, and then we can click share. This will now create a shared version of the file, and if I pop down the swim lanes at the top, you will see a coloured circle has appeared and it's there as a shared file. So if I switch over to the structural, the circle has changed to a white center which says the file has been shared. If I just quickly switch back to Autodesk Docs, you will see when we go to the Design Collaboration area, under Architecture, there is a copy of the file. You will notice that the version is 1. This is the first version that has been shared with this location. We can take further control of which shared models we wish to consume as our linked model. Therefore, this gives us greater control of the shared designs. For example, once the architect shares the file to the Design Collaboration area, the structural engineer can then choose to consume that shared version. This allows the structural engineer to choose which file they wish to consume. Once they consume the file, this will be the file that's linked directly to their model. The same thing can apply, for example, if the structural engineer shares the file over a number of shared files during that week. The architect then can choose which file they wish to consume, allowing them to link the design freeze of their choice. Let's take a look. So the structural engineer is currently looking to consume one of the architect's models that's been shared. You'll see on the swim line here, the architect has recently shared the file. The structural engineer can easily select the architecture model, and now you'll see on the right hand side they have the option to consume. This will now take a copy of the Revit file to the consumed folder in their docs. You'll also notice once they've done this, the circle has changed and we do have square that highlights consumed. I'm just going to switch back to Autodesk Docs. As you'll see, if I switch to the work in progress area, under the structures area, you'll notice we have the folder consumed. And if I select in this area, now we have the folder called Architect, and under there we have the latest file. This is the first version. I can now go back into Autodesk Revit, go to my Insert tab, link Revit, and then into my Project Files area, into my own Work in Progress area, and select the consumed, selecting the discipline specific, and now selecting the file.